Very serious. What's up? Really? Really, yes? Um. So yesterday, NASA announced at the HLS who's gonna make the human landing system for Artemis, dude. Um. Uh. Who do you? Which one? Okay. Nobody say anything. Nobody say anything. Nobody say anything. Nobody say anything. S, who do you think got picked? Don't Google it. Who do you think? Which two do you think they picked? Do you think they picked Dynetics national team, SpaceX national team, or SpaceX Dynetics? Which one do you think? I haven't gotten a chance to, Toothless. National team, of course. Nope. The national team didn't get picked. Did Dynetics get picked? Nope. SpaceX. Only SpaceX. NASA didn't have enough money to pick two. They underfunded HLS, and NASA only could pick SpaceX. SpaceX was the only one that was even that they could even afford. That was the only one. They wanted to pick SpaceX and national team, which is what I thought, but didn't happen. They didn't, dude. They didn't even have enough money. They underfunded it so bad that they didn't even have enough money to pick the national team solely. They just picked SpaceX. That's the only thing they had enough money for. And that's only because SpaceX had a ton of private investment and lowered the price because they have a ton of private investment. That's right. Is that about the spacesuits, Draco? I already got the thing about the spacesuits. So SpaceX is the sole provider for the HLS program right now here. Yeah. Okay, so we're at two things is where I'm at. Two things. One, I love that they picked Starship. You'd be dumb not to pick Starship. Second part of that, I hate that they picked Starship. You'd be dumb not to pick two. But they don't have the money to do it. I've always said that underfunding is dangerous. Underfunding is going to get you not where you need to be. I'm not saying that SpaceX can't do this either. I love Starship. I think Starship is a fantastic idea, if you really want my honest opinion. But not picking two is going to have repercussions down the road. What those repercussions are, don't know. But if we don't pay for those repercussions with cash, i.e., the proper funding, we're going to pay for it with something else. Could be timeline, could be mission assurance, could be a bunch of things. We're gonna pay for it some other way because you're never not gonna have a way to pay for it. What do you think this will do to Orion? So they're not launching. Astronauts aren't launching on Lunar Starship, guys. They're not launching on Lunar Starship. Orion and SLS will launch on a Block 1 or a Block 1B. And say the Block 1B is bringing cargo or something out. Which is great. That's perfect for it. They will rendezvous in rectilinear halo orbit with the Lunar Starship, and they will transfer to the Lunar Starship. So it's moon orbit rendezvous style, which is okay. How are they going to reuse the moonship, if at all? Well, Kem, you got to understand that once you get a Starship out into lunar orbit, right? Once you get one of these out into lunar orbit, into rectilinear halo, where you park one at the gateway, it doesn't need much to. It only needs the fuel for these thrusters to land stuff. I mean, this thing with a full tank of gas would be able to take off, land and take off from the moon a couple of times as long as SpaceX can figure out the propellants. Hey, Felderman, 19-month resub. So, yeah, NASA did say yesterday in the press conference, they did say yesterday that this contract is going to be for 2 starships. One to do an unmanned landing on the moon, which I like. That's a good idea. Practice it unmanned, just like Falcon 9. That's a really good idea. Good call. And then the second one will be for crew. And then one of those will be reused. Yeah, one of them is going to be reused. So the small thrusters will use the same fuel as Raptors. I think they're Methalox Draco thrusters, if I had to guess, but I don't know. They're a hot gas thruster of some type. Maybe we will get an Orion-compatible starship where the Orion capsule is the nose cone. No, public, I would prefer to have... Look, it's going to be extremely hard to get rid of Starship at this point, and it's already extremely hard to get rid of SLS. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I think that SLS Block 1B and SLS and Starship can coexist, and they should coexist, and they should work together, because the only thing better than having one Saturn V sized lifter is having 2 Saturn V sized lifters. You guys don't understand. This is the best of both worlds. We can pioneer super heavy lift. We can pioneer on orbit refueling. Well, not pioneer. We can get back to super heavy lift. We can pioneer on orbit refueling. And say like SLS Block 1B wants to carry like a lunar rover in it or something. The SLS can launch with a lunar rover in Orion. They can pluck the rover off, take it out to Gateway. If Gateway has a remote manipulating system, they can pluck it off and put it on Lunar Starship, and you can use SLS to convey Starship stuff down to the moon. It's a really, really, really... It's not a bad idea. I'm in. Guys, this is like having the Altair lander back, only better. This is like the Altair lander from Constellation, but it's better. It's much bigger. It has much more down mass capability to the moon, and you could use it as a base. It's like having something better than Altair. What's the crew size? 4. All I want is Rocket Cam live stream on the side of Lunar Starship during descent. Yep. Going to make brownies now. Yep. Why would Gateway launch 1 Starship? Done. I agree, PY. I honestly don't think that NASA wanted to do this. I think their hand was forced. I think they wanted redundant dissimilar architecture, and I think they wanted the national team. In their services report, I did read a little bit more into it. Not much, though. I didn't read the whole thing. Somebody asked if I read the whole thing. I didn't read the whole thing. I read a little bit more into it last night. They wanted national team. They wanted to do it. There were a couple of little discrepancies here and there with IP, with intellectual property disputes, with their plan, but they would have fleshed it out. They wanted the national team and SpaceX. National team to kind of do with the go what you know with thing, and then SpaceX to pioneer stuff similar to Commercial Crew. That's exactly what they wanted to do. Didn't. Once again, underfunding. So I don't think that SLS is going anywhere. If anything, this is going to get SLS launching more. Ugh. They'll get goalie. It's fine as long as you pull it out. If they could get the plane out of the water, it'll be all right. How much livable space will Starship have compared to Skylab? About the same, maybe a little bit less. Just a teeny bit less, King. SLS should be compatible with Dragon also. I don't think that it is, Chief. What's the lander you're talking about? The Altair lander from Constellation? From Project Constellation? It's that, but way bigger. You have much more down mass capability to the moon. It's good. I'm in. Let's do it. Doesn't Orion use IDSS as well? Correct. It hit the water hard. No, it didn't. I saw the video. What are you talking about? It'll be fine. Those things are, those planes are metal. They're metal. They're metal. They're easy to fix. We can fix that. That's no problem. I mean, you have to take the whole thing apart, but you can fix it. So why wouldn't it be compatible? He said SLS, Sebi, not Orion. Yeah, Vanguard, but we can, guys, you can laser sinter parts nowadays. I'm not worried. I don't know if it'll fly again, but I mean, we still have it. I mean, guys, once again, SpaceX, underfunding is bad for for a program. SpaceX is like the one exception to this because Elon's willing to throw personal stake into it. He's willing to take the accountability for it. So, I'm not sure if this underfunding is necessarily going to be bad in the long run, but underfunding generally does. If you don't pay for it in money, you're going to pay for it with something else. Usually that something else is time. And I think NASA knows this, to be honest with you. With how comprehensive that selection service report was, breaking down nitty-gritty details, there's no way they didn't see this coming. Yeah, Chem, I mean, that's the other one, but I don't want to talk about that, but yes. It's technically not underfunding because SpaceX is making up the difference in preventing underfunding. Yeah, no, Toothless, you're not understanding what I'm saying. It's not SpaceX's bid I have a problem with. In fact, that's the good part. SpaceX did a Chad move by raising private funds because they knew that this was going to be expensive, which is fine. Good on them. My beef here is not with SpaceX. My beef here is with Congress not giving 2 ways to get to the moon. Because, dude, look, I get it. Rockets are expensive. Nobody needs to sit here and say this to me. If they had gotten national team up and running, the only thing I can think better than Starships landing on the moon is Starships landing with the national team lander as well. And I know people are going to say, like, what? What are you talking about? Why would you do that? I want 2 ways to get to the moon. You know what's better than 1 way? 2 ways. You know what's better than 2 ways? 3 ways. You want to have this kind of competition driving in the market, even if the government is propping up one. All right? Look it. Do you think SpaceX would be as successful as they were if they weren't like saying like, look, SLS, look at how bad SLS is. Look at how bad Space Shuttle was. Look, even if it's there as a scapegoat, it's something that we can use to leverage commercial space pretty hard. That's why I always will advocate for public and private space programs, but collaborating. That's fine. Great. That's the problem. That's my beef with the whole thing. That Congress didn't give them the money for this, and we're going to pay the price for it by not having 2 ways to get to the moon. So, like I said, most likely, because there's no competition here, you're going to have a timeline shift. Yeah, because Starship is awesome. It's the best lander, but that's going to take the longest to engineer. Even with SpaceX going as fast as they are, Starship's going to take a while. It's going to take a little bit. So, yeah, we'll wait and see where this goes. It's not bad. This is not bad by any means. It could be better, though. But I'm going to always say it could be better, you know? Like, that's the thing. See, yes, it's right. It's true. Do you think a Dragon capsule on a Falcon Heavy could reach Gateway? Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Basically this, yep. Now, guys, it's important to remember, okay? It's important to remember. Just because they didn't get the funding now doesn't mean that they won't get the funding later. If they get the funding later, NASA will option B the National Team Lander and possibly Dynetics if they can get their head on straight. Dynetics was all over the place. So, yeah, guys, it's not the best it could be, but it's not bad either. SpaceX getting picked is clutch. It's really good. That's really freaking cool. I'm not worried that proposal change for the milestone funding means less money per milestone and shifts the schedule right past 2024. Oh, you're worried that proposal change for the milestone fund. Yeah, underfunding is, guys. I'll be honest with you. Underfunding this is going to kick 2024 down the road. It's just how it be. I mean, that's how we're most likely going to pay for it, because NASA ain't going to make stupid mistakes with astronauts' lives. Not at this juncture in time, I don't think. Yeah, they're not going to do that. So we're gonna pay for it with time, which does suck. But once again, if this was any other contractor but SpaceX, I would be like, oh yeah, we're screwed. 2024 is off the table. But because it's SpaceX, they are clearly the exception to my kind of theories on how spaceflight funding works. So who knows? Stranger things have happened. Well, 2024 is never going to happen. Yeah, well, Pythos, you could sit here and say that, but I honestly really can't stand people that have been saying that since the Artemis program was proposed. Because if you think it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I frankly think that's dumb. I hate that people have been, well, the moon in 2024 is going to happen. Yeah, well, not with you saying it's not. Thank you. You know, so yeah, I mean, that's what's going on with HLS right now. It's not bad by any means. Really not bad. This could be way worse. But yeah, it could be better, but more good than bad, to be honest with you. If a Dragon capsule on a Falcon Heavy could reach Gateway, we do have a backup plan. How does Dragon land on the surface of the moon? What's that, goalie? Moon parachutes. Yeah, yes. It's good to set a goal, but it was more Rule 8 oriented. Still aim for... And going to the moon by the end of 1970 wasn't, Pythos? It's NASA here. Well, pick one. Pick one. Do you like the Apollo program? Do you think the Apollo program... Oh, it's a political goal, so we shouldn't do it. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, man. Come on, you're smarter than this. You can't say the Apollo program was good because it was a political goal and then say the Artemis program with 2024 landing is a bad political goal. That's bullcrap. Nice try. Nope. Bad. Bad Pythos. Bad Pythos. Bad. Is NASA a jobs program or is it a space program? Which one? That's a really easy logic trap to fall into. You can't say you love the Apollo program and hate the Artemis program and say that 2024 is politically motivated. Yeah, most of the things that NASA does are. So, I mean, anyway, I did have a suggestion, my friend. I checked on your merch on Redbubble. Great stuff. You should create mini stickers with the visual content you put on clothes to stick on notebooks or whatever. I'd love to buy one. Okay, Lano. I'll think about it. Sure, Burner. That's fine. That's perfectly okay. All right. Here, let's get into the rest of the news. Yeah. I mean, deadlines are the way to keep accountability in the public market. If they're arbitrary, I mean, if you want to look at them as arbitrary, what the heck is Commercial Crew? Commercial Crew is arbitrary. Why do we need to commercialize space? Like, see, you can play this crappy game. I don't want to play this crappy game. That's not a good thing. If you're gonna write off, somebody's goals for NASA as, oh, that's, just politically motivated. I mean, they are politicians. It's kind of the point. So other politicians want to commercialize space. Are they wrong too? Is that being arbitrary? No, that's just what you like. You know what I mean? I like both of those things for what it's worth. Let's see. The air leak in the PRK chamber of the Zvezda module decreased by 3 times after sealing of the detailed cracks, said cosmonaut Ivan Wagner. The small leak still exists, but it's much smaller than it was before. Cool. All right, so they're working on getting the PRK vestibule all patched up. Why do we need space? The moon is fake. Yeah, I know, right? Why should we commercialize the train system? Oh. So that's the module right there, the back of the Zvezda module that has a little bit of a leak, but they're patching it up, so that's good. All right, see what else we got. This is coming from Katya again. The low-quality resin used for the inner sizing of the Soyuz fairings led to the damage of antennas and elements of the Kurs system, which is part of the docking system, on the MS-16 cargo spacecraft. This was clearly seen on the rocket cams mounted on the fairing. Uh-oh. I want moon cheese. I want 2024 to happen. I just don't think there's a political will to happen by them in the government. Yeah, well. I guess, I mean, we should probably, you know, let them know that this is important, but why would we do that, right? Why would we do that? Why would we actually make sense? Logistics for refueling Lunar Starship will be bonkers, though. I agree. SpaceX really has to be able to nail a flight a day with this. It's very important. Poor quality resin used in the manufacturing of the nose fairings of the Soyuz launch vehicle. Cosmonaut Sergei Ryzhikov on February 17th docked Progress MS-16 to the ISS using a manual teleoperator control module after the spacecraft deviated from the berthing axis at a distance of about 20 meters to the station. The roll was more than 30 degrees. Yikes. What kind of science are the Artemis missions going to do on the moon? I mean, are you looking for something... Are you looking for something specific, or they're going to need, like, 5 pads? I mean, no, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, seeing 5 starships, like, just all in a row wouldn't be amazing. A big thing that we need to learn how to do, Angry Pixels, we need to learn how to in situ. In situ would be... In situ resource utilization would be cool. That's what we need to do. If we can figure out how to take the water ice and make it into consumables and make a self-sustaining habitat on the moon, I've always said that if you can make a moon base, you can make a Mars base. Mars bases would be actually easier because you have more at you have more resources at your disposal other than a bunch of rocks and some ice. Mars has a little bit of an atmosphere. You could do stuff with that. So if you can make something that works on the moon, you can make something that works on Mars. And that will be a good way to sustain ourselves on Mars with a closed-loop system while we figure out ways to work on Mars. Right? That's just the right move. Third-party supplier was already changed for some time. This is probably from earlier production. Got it. 3D printing with regolith and moon water? I mean... I'm not going to say let's not do that. King, that's why I do what I do. The reason... Excuse me. The reason why I do what I do is... because I'm trying to curb public opinion in favor of NASA. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to sell anybody on some crap scheme or something. We need to go into space. We'd be stupid not to. I came to this conclusion a long time ago. We have to go. We have to go further into space. It is imperative. It is imperative to keeping this planet the way that we want. I'd say it's even an imperative for climate change if you want to go that far. If we want to go that far, we can figure out how to live and work in space. Space becomes our habitat. We're not confined to Earth anymore. So we could save this planet by going and fixing Mars, or going to the moon, or making O'Neill cylinders, or something. Something. We're going to outgrow this planet eventually. And no matter how you look at it, we have finite amounts of resources here. Out in the universe, there's vast amounts of resources, okay? So I hope in 50 years, having a mine or a factory on Earth is as dumb as you trying to manufacture cars in your backyard. You wouldn't go mining in your backyard to make something in your backyard to mass produce. That doesn't make any sense. Earth's our home. You don't crap where you eat. You know what I mean? I mean, I like that idea too. SpaceX will have 5 pads, 2 in Boca, the 2 oil rigs, and 39A. Yep. People build cars in the yards all the time. I know. I'm part of that. I'm talking about mass production. You don't build a gigafactory in your backyard. You go and find some other space to build it where there's tons of space. Ideally near resources, right? Why don't we go out into the asteroid belt? It's not going to take much. As long as we're limiting it to backyards and not garages. Yep. I mean, unless everybody here wants to return to Monkey, I'm not doing that. I'll go out into space or something. Thank you very much. NASA has awarded a contract modification to ULA Launch to add Vulcan Centaur launch services to the company's NASA Launch Services, NLS-2. Vulcan Centaur launch service will be available to LSP for future missions. Very cool. Glory to Glorzo! I'm also worried that this will push large-scale ISRU for refueling on the moon to the right, since Starship doesn't use LH-2. Has SpaceX issued a statement since yesterday's announcement that gives details on a roadmap for lunar Starship development? Negative. One of the best things about setting up on the moon is that all you need for a smelter is a mirror. Yep. We have to go. It's really not even a judgment call. We have to. SpaceX did release a statement. Oh yeah, that's right. Here it is. We'll get back to a little bit more of the Russian news here in a moment. Only 24 humans have been to the moon, and no one has been back since 1972. Today, NASA announced they have selected Starship to land the first astronauts on the lunar surface since the Apollo program. We are humbled to help NASA usher in a new era of human space exploration. Together, NASA and SpaceX have successfully executed similarly bold and innovative partnerships, including restoring America's ability to launch astronauts to orbit and return them safely home. We will build upon our shared accomplishments and leverage years of close technical collaboration to return to the moon. In doing so, we will lay the groundwork for human exploration to Mars and beyond. Sustaining a human presence on the moon will require the safe and affordable transportation of crew and significant amounts of cargo. SpaceX's Starship spacecraft and Super Heavy rocket represent an integrated and fully reusable launch propellant delivery rendezvous and planetary lander system with robust capabilities and safety features uniquely designed to deliver these essential building blocks. Hey, Kimmer. Flying between lunar orbit and the surface of the moon, Starship will carry crew and all of the supplies, equipment, and science payloads needed for the extensive surface exploration, building off the safety and reliability of Dragon and Falcon. Starship will feature proven avionics, guidance and navigation systems, autonomous rendezvous docking, and precision landing capabilities, as well as thermal protection and a spacious cabin with familiar displays and interfaces utilized on Dragon. Oh, that's going to be so freaking cool. Oh, that's going to be... I'm nerding out. You've seen the interior Dragon. Somebody said this yesterday. You saw the interior Dragon. What the heck is the interior Starship going to look like? That's going to be amazing. Oh, that's going to be amazing. Looking at Discord, yesterday's Space News was pretty emotional. I didn't like the initial results came here, and then I went and figured out why they were the way that they are, and I get it now. It makes sense. Yeah, Chris, there you go. SpaceX is rapidly advancing Starship development, drawing on an extensive history of launch vehicle and engine development programs. Since January 2020, SpaceX has built 10 Starship prototypes, with production and fidelity accelerating on each build. SpaceX has manufactured and tested more than 60 of Starship's Raptor engines, accumulating nearly 30,000 seconds of total test time over 567 engine starts. Including on multiple Starship static fires and flight tests. We have conducted 6 suborbital flight tests, including 2 150-meter hops and 4 high-altitude flights. SpaceX also has built a full-size Super Heavy booster as part of a Pathfinder effort and currently has 5 vehicles in production. We are honored to be a part of NASA's Artemis program to safely land the first woman and the next man on the surface of the moon. As the first of many, many people to follow. How scalable is Eclipse, Rocket Guy? Honest question. How scalable is it? I told you there was not enough funding for HLS. Jim wasn't actually lowballing. So, Kamir, you told me there wasn't enough funding, so you told me that NASA is better off with 1 instead of 2. Congratulations, you're right. Grats, man. This is not the best outcome. So, you told me that there wouldn't be the best outcome. So, were you hoping for a best outcome, or... I mean, congratulations. Take the W on that one. Good job, I think. Good job, man. No, we had these discussions before, and you suspected Jim was just trying to get more funding. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case. Yeah. I was trying to be optimistic to keep everybody's spirits up. Kind of worked. I mean, good job though. You were right. And we have 1 HLS instead of 2. So enjoy the W on that one. Who really won here? If Jim was still around, I'm pretty sure that funding would have been there in one way, shape, or form. And you could say, oh well, he was there when they got the past funding. Yeah, I get it. Jim. You don't think Jim would have gone in there and tried to correct that problem? Guy literally showed up at a random Senate committee to get NASA's policy on paper. You guys don't remember that? The blame should be on Congress. Came here. Dude, this is our fault. You can sit here and we can blame Congress, but in our system of checks and balances, how it works over there, who's supposed to hold these people responsible? We are. We're supposed to. We're supposed to hold these people responsible, and we don't. There's your problem. It's not them. I agree, King. Yeah, I mean, as weird as that is, but yes, you're right. Yeah, I know. Geese is like, well, I'm not. Yeah, I know. Politicians' job is to do what we vote them in to do, and we have to hold them accountable. If we don't hold them accountable and they don't do what we put them in there for, and then we still vote for them, whose fault is it? You know, Bauxy, see, instead of sitting here and complaining about people not knowing about NASA, I'm here on the front lines every day teaching people about it. Like, I'm trying to do as much as I can, guys. I figured out a way to parry it into a freaking job. Like, I don't know how much more, I don't know, like, I'm trying to give as much as I can because this is so important. You know, like, we gotta go out into space, dude. But hey, whatever, at least we got Starship. Starship's fine. Yeah, I know, Spotchers. True that. Is that we don't hold them responsible. The average person doesn't find space that important. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, Snoodle. Chat knows, so you do your part. That's right. Yeah, Iceman. It's just a bad force situation. Simple as that. It's true, King. I mean, that's the dirty little secret. Space isn't an us versus them battle. Like, Jim said it in his farewell address, and he said it better than anybody ever could have. This is what he was trying to get at. You got to make this stuff happen. Yeah, Valoxy, I gotcha. Chuck, I passed my medical math exam. Thanks for telling me that math is just a language. That helped. It is, Chuck. Anybody can understand it. But, Chuck, the problem is that people think they understand it because they have to put a little bit more than 1 iota of effort in. It's delayed gratification. You're not going to learn a language overnight. You know? Like, I've been reading Russian for months now. Do you think I know what this says? I mean, I can get bits and pieces. It's talking about RD-180s. Oh, nice, Fractal. Math knows where it is because it knows where it is. An actual question and not Rule 8. Can NASA backseat off of Russia? Use them since they seem to get more funding? Russia gets more funding than NASA? No. No, they don't. NASA gets 10 times the funding of Roscosmos. Yeah. And that's a conservative estimate. It's more like 20. The Russians penny pinch their space program too. But see, Snoodle, I think you're on the right track. I have always said to our buds across the pond, the Russians, I've always said we should work together on this. Because if you parry international cooperation, a program is less likely to fail. Think about that for a second. The ISS. Does anybody want to be the guy that breaks off a diplomatic form of peace between Russia and the US and Europe and Japan? I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. Nobody wants to do that. It's a bad idea. I'd rather work with the Russians. I'd rather go to the moon with the Russians, if you really want my honest opinion. Not just because the Russians get it. That's what I always talk about. But going together safeguards the program. Simple as that. I'd rather go with them, to be honest with you. Actually, if you really want to know the honest to God truth, I don't give a crap who goes. Could be us, could be the Russians, could be the Chinese. I don't care. As long as somebody does it. I'd rather work with the Russians, to be honest with you. Nothing against the Europeans and anything, but the Russians have a lot of experience building long-term habitation modules. Like Zarya and Zvezda, which are by far and away the oldest modules on the ISS, and they're still going strong. I mean, Sebi, you guys add the scientific component to the table. That's where the European space program really thrives, in deep space and planetary science. Like, that's really where you guys thrive. I mean, I wish it wasn't. I wish you guys had your own launch vehicle, because more rockets is better than less, but hey, it is what it is.
Discovery.
Yeah, Rocket Guy, I know what you mean. But look, Hokey, thanks, man. But look, at the end of the day, someone's got to do it. And I mean, that would suck if China was the only one. But if, you know, if at least someone's gonna frigging do it, if we're gonna sit here with our thumb up our tail the entire time, like at least somebody's doing it. Yes, Abby, you know what I mean. Here's an awesome picture, you know? That is a great picture. I mean, yeah, Balxy, I'm not that big of a fan either, to be honest with you. Toothless, yeah, I mean, if we were gonna go, I would want the Russians to launch the modules. Like, here's how I would want it. The Russians don't have a super heavy launcher. We could figure something out. So how about we take an EUS, right? Take an EUS, an exploration upper stage with Block 1 and an Orion capsule, okay? How about we do that, and then take the Russians, take another DOS module or a functional cargo block, okay? So Orion goes up with the EUS, and then the EUS has a HAB module and an adapter on it, okay? Orion undocks for a moment. It docks to the HAB module on the Zenith or the Nadir, and then we take a functional cargo block. We belt that to the front, right? And then the Russians come up with an Oriole capsule and dock it opposite Orion, and then we send that thing out to the moon. We send that out to Gateway. The EUS can move all that, no problem. Easily. The throw weight would be nothing. The EUS has... Actually... It would just need to be an EUS, a Russian module, and an Orion. You couldn't have Oriole on there. It's too heavy. So we'd need to have the EUS pushing a functional cargo block and an Orion capsule out to the moon. And that can go out to Gateway. That would work just fine. Or better yet, just launch the freaking Russian module on SLS. I mean, that would work too, but I don't think the Russians would want that. Yeah, King, I'm trying to be preemptive to not let that happen, but also that's how the space race started, so whatever. Those are great pictures, goalie. Maybe dumb question, but can you have a cycler between the moon and between a Earth-Moon orbit? You wouldn't need to, Balxy. It's better to just do a Hohmann transfer. Anyway, let's keep going. So, let's see what this article says. Yeah, what Nova said, call your reps, guys. Seriously, you got to do this stuff. All right, let's see what we got here. Roscosmos announced the last delivery of the RD-180 engines to the USA. Russia has handed over to the United States the last batch of RD-180 rocket engines under a previously concluded contract. As noted on the website of Roscosmos, on April 14th, American customers received 6 engines from MPO Energomash. Now the products are being prepared for shipment. In total, within the framework of more than a 20-year contract, Energomash supplied 122 commercial RD-180 engines to the United States. The engine is used in the first stage of the Atlas V launch vehicle. At the same time, United Launch Alliance previously told Novosti that they intend to stop operating with this rocket engine in the mid-2020s. To replace it, the Vulcan rocket with American BE-4 engines is being developed. In addition to the RD-180, Russia supplies the United States with the RD-181 engines. NPO Energomash signed a contract for the development and production with Orbital ATK in December of 2014. They are designed to be installed on the American Antares launch vehicle. It's important to note that Energomash can still keep supplying Antares with as many RD-181s as they want. The reason why we stopped buying the 180s, the RD-180s, and why Vulcan exists in the first place is because we can't use Russian engines for defense missions because Herder Congress. Quick question. In regards to the Martian, you know at how the end he launches up from Mars and then rendezvous with the interplanetary ship doing flyby. Wouldn't the launch vehicle need to go the same speed to rendezvous? Seems like a mistake nobody ever talked about. He depressurizes his suit to match velocity match a velocity S, and also they decelerated the ship by they decelerated the ship by going suborbital for a second, and then they rendezvoused on a suborbital trajectory, and then the ship got out of the trajectory. It kind of makes sense, but depressurizing your spacesuit and then rapid depress of a spaceship for a suborbital trajectory is... yeah, okay. Same with Atlas V. They could keep flying Atlas V for commercial missions. Yeah, exactly, Rocket Guy. You gotta read the book. Screw the movie. The movie's a dumbed-down version of the book. Alright, here. Next news. NASA to attempt first controlled flight on Mars as soon as Monday. NASA is targeting Monday, April 19th for the first flight of its Ingenuity Mars helicopter at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Data from the first flight will return to Earth a few hours following the autonomous flight. A live stream will begin at 6:15 a.m. That's not better. As the helicopter team prepares to receive the data downlink in the Spaceflight Operations Facility at JPL. Okay, the live stream is at 6, though. I mean, not that much better, but still a little better. Oh, boy. Rock Guy's like, oh, that's perfect for me. Cool. Also, can I... Can we... Yo, hang on. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Yeah. Am I right? Where does this go? Where should I put it? I'm out of space. I'm out of screens. The NASA logo? Okay. How's that look? Yeah! Awesome! Hey, wait, that guy's playing Galaga! Yeah! That's amazing. We got the spinny boys! You have a free monitor next to the phone. This one, so I'd have to go back into GIMP and crop the screens out. That's how I got the screens working. I had to take the picture and we have to crop the screens out. Once again, that's not something that's not doable. I can absolutely do that. Why does the top spin the wrong way? So, Dave, those are contra-rotating blades. Contra-rotating blades are a way to cancel out the gyroscopic precession of spinning a blade above you. This is the reason why helicopters have, like, a tail rotor. So if you look at, like, one of the most atypical helicopters, right? You look at the Huey. It has a blade up top, right? And then it has a tail rotor. That tail rotor has variable pitch on it, right? And it's basically used to keep the fuselage going in one direction, okay? If you didn't have the tail rotor, the fuselage would just spin. The fuselage would spin around and around and around and around and around. Also, Hueys are awesome. NASA should have Hueys. Now, if you have two blades on top of each other, and mirrored blades, and they're spinning in opposite directions, it cancels out the precession. The Russians have a helicopter that does this, the Kamov, the Ka-25, amongst other things. Ka-25 has the same thing, and you're able to make a much more compact helicopter if you do that. Yeah, the angular momentum. Angular momentum. Yeah. Angular momentum is the better way to say it, or the right way to say it, I should say. I'll take care of it, Nuclear. Oh, wait a minute. I see what you're saying. That blade's spinning the wrong way. Dave's, hold on, scratch that. It is spinning the wrong way. This blade should be going counterclockwise. Maybe that was the flight software update that they were talking about. Dave, I'm sorry, I didn't notice that. That was way too general for what you were asking. The bottom blade should be going counterclockwise. No, it shouldn't. They're testing the motors, guys. The whole maybe that's why it needed a flight. That's why it needed a flight software update was a joke. All right. Anyway. So NASA announced this. Check this out. This is from a couple of days ago, but NASA released it, but they didn't really say much about it. This was on the 14th. So NASA is preparing to send humans to the moon through the Artemis program, not just to walk and explore, but to develop a sustainable presence. The next generation of moonwalkers will need a whole new suite of spacesuits and support systems to enable exploration of the inhospitable environment at the lunar South Pole. Also proof that NASA has a Huey. Should we tell them, guys? Kelly, that would suck. Just as NASA is embracing new technologies to support moonwalkers, the agency will also embrace a new strategy for procuring the necessary spacesuits, support equipment, and support services. While this approach is new to spacesuit development, NASA is successfully using this strategy today to procure launch services, commercial crew and cargo deliveries to the International Space Station, and delivery or other elements of the Artemis program, including HLS and deep space logistics. Hey, 12 Bravo, what's going on, man? How are you? In a request for information published on April 14, 2021, NASA is seeking industry feedback on this updated strategy to procure exploration spacewalk activity services. Yeah, it's just an RFI. Request for information. So, guys, long story short, what NASA's doing is saying an RFI for NASA is them basically going around to certain private companies and saying, hey, if you were going to design a spacesuit on the moon, what would it look like? How would you do it? That's what NASA's doing. RFIs, what do they lead to? Rocket Guy, I know this. The RFI can RFIs can lead to a broad agency announcement, right? No, that's not right. BAAs are different. Imagine SpaceX gets the contract for the EVA suits. Yeah, if granted, they generally survey industry leaders and ask them questions. RFIs lead to RFPs, requests for proposals. That's right, yeah. Novus linked me the flowchart of this whole thing the other day. I have to go look at it. I think they should give him to David C. Clark, if you really want my honest opinion. David C. Clark, Worcester, Massachusetts, baby. Made all the Apollo spacesuits. And the headsets. We should give it to them. That's correct, XPZ. Yep. They should get Adam Savage to make them. Yeah, I don't feel like dying in space with an Adam Savage spacesuit. Let's just go with David C. Clark. Huh? That was part of our contribution, part of my state's contribution to the Apollo program. They made the spacesuits. The A7Ls, those were made in Massachusetts, made out in Worcester. And then the other contribution for Massachusetts is the Draper Lab. The Apollo guidance computer, that was made here. Made and engineered here. David C. Clark, yep. David C. Clark Company Bio. Yeah, that's the full name. You dare doubt the Savage? It's not that I doubt Adam Savage, but David C. Clark made all the pumpkin suits for the shuttle program. And the SR-71 suits. And the A7L suits. I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. Yeah, they dropped the C. Yeah, sure. They dropped the C. Yeah, of course. Okay. Just like, everybody calls the Sears Tower the Willis Tower, right? Yep. It's the Willis Tower now. No, it's not. It's the Sears Tower. You may think you can change the name, but you can't change the name. How to Rock. I had an interview at Draper Lab, ended up elsewhere, however. Draper's cool, How to Rock. That's not that far away from me. It's like right over there. I'd love to go there and talk to those guys at some point, just to pick their brains about stuff, but I'm pretty sure they don't want anything to do with some Twitch streamer, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe someday. I'm going to buy the Empire State Building and call it Jeb Tower. Literally no one would call it that. Okay, so a little bit of news on the Crew 2 front here. The static fire of the booster happened last night. This is the Crew 2 booster, so this is the crew that Shane Kimbrough, Megan MacArthur, Aki Hoshide, and Thomas Pesquet will be launching on next week. I think they're targeting the 24th. This is a very, very interesting mission because Crew 2 not only uses a reused Dragon capsule. This is the Dragon capsule that flew on DM2 back in May of 2020. But it's also reusing the first stage from that mission as well. Reused first stage, reused capsule, which is pretty freaking cool, man. Yeah, Megan MacArthur, yeah, that's right. She's the pilot, and Bob was the pilot on DM2. So, she's flying in the seat that her husband flew in last year, which is really cool. That's pretty rad. Was it Crew 1? Yeah, Razlak, I think you're right. I think it's Crew 1 and not Demo 2. Flight proven. I like it. I like reusing spaceships, man. This is how it should be. Sage, no reused crew for the trifecta. Here's some pictures, too. This is coming right from NASA. Oh, baby. That's pretty cool, man. First capsule reuse ever? No. No. There has been reused capsules before. A Gemini capsule was reused back in the day. But the Gemini capsule launched unmanned and then was refurbished and then launched with people on board. So this is the first capsule to be reused that flew people. And I guess by definition is the 6th spacecraft to ever be reused with people flying on both flights ever, behind the 5 space shuttles. Excuse me. Sorry. They're targeting the 22nd. Thank you. So the second stage is the only thing new. So the price is around 50, 60 million, or is it less? It's not about 50, 60 million, Wii Sports. Commercial crew launches with Dragon 2 is up over 100. It's up over 100 million per commercial crew 1 contracts. The reason why is because when you have that spacecraft on there is more complicated than the rest of the entire booster. Price goes up, more complicated the mission is. Spaceflight missions are a la carte, guys, and this is what, even if you reuse the booster, yes, that does bring the price down. But spaceflight missions are a la carte. What does that mean? So basically, you want the spaceship to do more, you got to pay more. It's that simple. It's a very linear scale right here. Now there are shifts in that linear scale, right? So if it was a new booster, new first stage, new second stage, new capsule, the price would be up here, and that price is still over 100 million. If it was a reuse booster, reuse capsule, the price goes down a little bit, right? Because you don't have to manufacture a new booster. If this was a reused booster, new second stage, reused fairings with cargo, that's where the price would be the lowest, because fairings are a little bit mechanically simpler than a Dragon capsule. See what I'm talking about? Price is still up over 100 million to launch a crew. But that by far and away is one of the cheapest ways to get into space. It's the cheapest way in the U.S. arsenal, like, ever. Ever. The only thing I think that's less expensive to launch people on would be like Mercury Atlas or something, because it was a converted ICBM. The booster was already paid for. The only crew vehicle I can think that's simpler than that is lower in price than Dragon is Soyuz. Soyuz is simpler. And it is less expensive. It's for a Soyuz launch, because the booster is so tried and tested and the system's so reliable. It's like 40 million a pop or something for the launch. That's just for the launch. That's not including astronaut training. Astronaut training is expensive. Do you think Dragon 2 could ever go to Gateway? I don't know, Mason. SpaceX has said back in the day that the capsule is rated for deep space, but I'm not 100% sure that it is. If I had to guess, Mason, and this is a big guess, if I had to guess, the capsule has future proofing in it to be able to go into deep space. It has the future proofing systems on it, but they're not on it. It's probably not flying with deep space paraphernalia, right? Because it's not going to deep space. But I'm pretty confident that Dragon 2, in its current capacity, would not go into deep space very well. But I'm pretty sure that SpaceX could make quick modifications to it if needed. Soyuz first launch in 1990? Wait, what are you talking about, Sebi? When will the Earth have level 2 astronauts? Livrio, we have some level 2 astronauts still around. Jim Lovell, Fred Hayes, Charlie Duke, those are level 2 astronauts. They have 2 stars. Unfortunately, most of our level 2 astronauts have retired. I would even call Alexei Leonov a 2-star. He's a 2-star. He's a 2-star cosmonaut, absolutely. I mean, we lost him too. I was bummed out when Leonov died. I didn't know he was still alive, to be honest with you. Like, I saw him in a Roscosmos video once, and they were like, Alexei Leonov. I'm like, what the heck? He's still alive? All right. Well, he's not anymore. Like, oh, hi, Mark. Anyway, we got another video coming from NASA Spaceflight here. You guys will probably appreciate this one. Here, take a look. So basically, Dragon 2 has the right hole patterns, for lack of a better phraseology. Yeah, exactly. It's probably future-proofed, Nerd. Yep. It probably could be made to do it, but it isn't in that configuration right now. What do you have to do to be considered 2-star? I mean, the reason why I'd give Leonov 2 stars is because he was the first guy to ever EVA, but walking on the moon probably has something to do with it. Would there be any point sending Dragon 2 out to the moon because of Starship? Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Do we know why the Dyn map for Minecraft is not updating? Drummer disabled it because the server was lagging. Drummer is, I don't know if he's here. Could we update the Dyn map in Minecraft? Is that doable? Or are you guys still troubleshooting? When are we going to land on the moon? Could be as early as 2024, Gaga Black Black. It won't update instantly, but I could set it to update. Do it. Do it. Ironic. Yeah, make it happen. We also got to find a place to put the concrete factory. I didn't like Callie saying by the end of the 2020s yesterday. Yep, Phil. Call your representative. I have nothing. There's really nothing more to say. Call your rep. Call your rep and tell him that was a mistake. That's the best thing that we can do. Calling your state representative is, the reps are the people that control the purse strings. So, God, that's the only thing I can say to do. Look, you want Congress to do what you want them to do. Hold them accountable. Call them. You got to tell these people these things. They won't know if you don't tell them. They can't read your mind. I'd call your rep, but they won't listen to you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, you could write them a letter. They take mail from overseas. I'm pretty dang sure they'll listen to you, I guess. I mean, just make sure you acknowledge, like, look, I know I'm overseas, but, you know, you could say something like, look, the U.S. going back to the moon is vital to my country's security or something. Say something like that. I mean, it's not wrong. Shoot them an email. You never know. I mean, but once again, you know, they can't read your damn mind. Only vote for pro-space reps. I don't think that's a good idea either, because, yeah, but Phil, that's the only thing. That's the only thing left we have to say. We didn't hold them accountable enough. HLS got underfunded. They can't read our minds. You want them to know about this issue. You got to be vocal about it. That's our job, to hold these people accountable as U.S. citizens. That's what we got to do. You don't like what Congress is doing? Don't just sit there and whine about it. Don't whine about it on Twitter. Do something about it. That's all I have left to say. That's all. You guys don't like the result? Hold the people accountable and go from there. There's nothing else to say. What do you think the second nationality of the person to walk on the moon will be? Russian? I would want the Russians to go with us, S-Master, but if they don't want to go with us on Artemis, it's probably going to be someone from Europe or Japan. Which I don't care. As long as we do it, I really don't care. It could be a Chinese person for all I care. Whatever. At least someone's doing it. Would you be willing to call your rep on stream? I wouldn't, Blackness. Not on stream. I wouldn't put people on the spot like that. No. Maybe I'll ask for an interview with them or something. If you guys wanted to do that. I agree, Ando. Yeah. But I wouldn't want to stream that stuff. Not live, at least, and certainly not without telling them. That's not cool. Don't do that. Don't put people on the spot like that. Rule of streaming. Don't do that. Well, kind of unspoken rule of streaming, I guess. Anyway. Here. I got a SpaceX video. That seems to be too Rule 8. Shortline, I wouldn't subject you guys to that. The stock guy interviewed AOC on stream. That was crazy. Yeah. I mean, yes, it wouldn't hurt whispering something in her ear if you wanted to. I don't think she'd be all about it though. Like, Just an opinion. I mean, but you never know. You can't. We expect everybody to be able to read our minds and figure out our needs all the time, dude. You know, like if people expect other people to look out for them, especially Rule 8 people, you got to tell them. You can't. You got to tell them. I don't know, Balk. I don't know if she's about that life. Who knows? And she's not my representative. That's the thing. I live in Massachusetts. She's a rep from New York. We don't like each other. No. That was a joke. Do you think that SpaceX will be able to send robots to the moon to build a lunar base before astronauts get there? Baranok, I don't think they even need to send robots, dude. Have you seen Lunar Starship, man? Hold on. Lunar Starship is the base. You don't need you don't need anything else. That's the size of Lunar Starship, man. Keep in mind, these are spacesuits. An astronaut in a spacesuit stands 6 feet tall easily. These things, the EVMUs are huge. And why represent? Maybe you should call her, S. Baranok, look at the size of this sucker. It's friggin' huge. It's like landing a Skylab on the moon. Alright? Like, have you guys seen the video? Have you guys ever seen the videos of the interior of Skylab? Look at the size of this sucker. Wait, where's this video coming from? Retro Space HD. I mean, this footage has to come from courtesy of NASA. Now you look at it, you're like, oh, that's not that. That's, you know, okay. That doesn't look to be any more than the ISS, right? Well, hey guys, what's up? NASA way wants to procure commercial contracts for lunar habitats, but a cost-trap program, Starship may become a vertically integrated system. Yeah, I would think they're still going to make a base, so we know what to do for Mars. Wii Sports, yeah, you could. Absolutely. You could and you should do that, but Starship is a good place to set up base camp, so to speak. You know what I mean? Here. Take a look. So there's about that much room inside of a lunar starship. Did you see that? You see the guy doing front flips there? Most of it is fuel tank. From the solar panels up is how much room they have. Like I said, it's about the same in volume as a Skylab, give or take. It's about well, with the unpressurized payload bay, I'd say like about 600 cubic meters. That's bigger than my apartment. Like way bigger than my apartment. Like probably double the size of my apartment. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So it looks like, from what I can tell from these renders, that there's a bulkhead right here, and there's an unpressurized payload bay right here, and then from here all the way up to the top is a HAB module. That's huge. That's gigantic. Yeah, it's quite large. Anyway, let's see. Trigger the re-render. Let's see what it does. Oh yeah, no, it already did it, to an extent. It goes off block updates, right? Yeah, it already got my road in there. I extended the road last night. And I got the dot line spacing wrong. Damn it. Yep. Yep, curved road's already getting in there. There we go. Looks good. Oh, wow. Yeah, they're really starting to do work out there. How many people fit in Orion? Comfortably, 4. For the Artemis missions, 4. Even Orion. Orion's big. That's a big capsule, guys. Is at the end of the news. We got a 13, well, almost 14-minute video. Take a look. This video is coming from NASA Spaceflight, coming from Boca Chica Gal, over courtesy of NSF. That's some footage you guys might enjoy. So, you know what's interesting? That Raptor engine is about 2 standard humans tall, right? It's about 2 humans tall, right? That thing weighs as much as a semi-truck. Engines are that frigging heavy. Because you gotta remember, this thing is designed to hold an explosion and blow it out the bottom. It's heavy. Do we know why the nozzle is green? They must have hit it, they must have anodized it or something, or treated it. Prey, you were talking about it. They did something to it. How many standard ULA bananas? At least 40. I know, Panazas. Yeah, Starship's cool, man. But it very much is the nuclear option for lunar landers. But you know what? I'll take it. It's fine with me. In fact, guys, launching a Starship out there, launching a Starship out to the moon, right? And then using like 3 or 4 SLS missions, right? To throw payload like HAB modules, rovers, whatever, down to the surface that's great. I'll take that. That's honestly, it's almost as good as Constellation. Almost. My one gripe, if you really want to know, at this point in time, what I would do, and this is not going to happen. We're way too far in development. I would take SLS Block 1B, fly Block 1B unmanned, right? And then take the Orion capsule and use it to launch into low Earth orbit. So put it on like a Falcon 9 or something. I'm serious. Put the Orion capsule on a Falcon 9. You're going to say, EJ, it doesn't have enough Delta V. If you use the surface propulsion system, it has plenty of Delta V. You'd need to expend a Falcon 9, right? But you could do it. Or put it on Vulcan. I don't care. I really don't. Now, if you do that, the Orion gets up into low Earth orbit. The Orion docks with Lunar Starship in low Earth orbit, and then they keep refueling Starship and keep refueling Starship and keep refueling Starship. And then Starship with Orion attached to the front does translunar injection. And then you can go there Apollo program style. No problem. No problem. That would be really easy to do. That's actually a pretty good mission architecture. That's almost as good as Constellation. It's actually probably better. No SLS, you could use it to launch cargo, Vasya. So, SLS with Orion. So, like, okay, all right. You have another Lunar Starship, right? First one goes out to the moon. You have a Lunar Starship up there going to and from. Now, Falcon Heavy launches Gateway, or SLS launches a lunar landing module. So, SLS, you have Orion, and you have not a lunar landing module. You have Orion and a base module, okay? So, Orion docks to the base module, plucks it off of SLS, right? Attaches it to the front of a Lunar Starship with the Orion capsule, send it again. Or Orion could take it and install it in Lunar Starship. There is a lot of flexibility here. The only way that it would be better is if National Team was around, but I'll take it. You could do a lot with this. There's a lot of flexibility here. That's fine, goalie. Yep. It's an oxidized coat formed in the foundry to protect against corrosion. It suggests that they're changing the Inconel formula for something longer lasting. Agreed. What is exactly Constellation? I hear you talk so much about it, but I don't know. Constellation was the program that we tried to do. It was basically Apollo 2.0. A 3-phase program to replace the space shuttle, build a heavy launch vehicle, go to the moon, and then use that heavy launch vehicle and the space shuttle replacement to assemble vehicles in low Earth orbit to go to Mars. It was started in 2004 in a response to the Columbia disaster under a program called the Vision for Space Exploration. It was basically a roadmap over the next 30 years at the time for what we need to do in space and it got canceled in 2011 because of the recession, long story short. Let's get back to Starship. You go look it up. Constellation is really good architecture. It just happened at the wrong time, which really sucks, but hey, it is what it is. Kimmy once again took a nap in his car during the red flag caused by Tsunoda's crash in Q1. Wrecked. Two Raptors have been installed. One was returned to the build site. Got it. Oh. To the scrapyard with you, Mr. Ring. Wrong fitting. That's GSC 2 or 3. Yep. Scrap. Dude. Okay. All right. All right. Look at the rake on the crane right there. Man.
Discovery,
Okay.
going throttle up.
You can't really tell. Oh, they cut the camera. But that thing is leaning forward a little bit. You could tell that the center of mass was out over the front wheels. Bird. GSE-2 is undergoing final outside installations before heading to the launch site. Cool. Periodic. 39-month resub. That's a lot of cranes, man. There's another crane over here. See, so that's a lattice crawler over there on the left. There's another lattice crawler behind it. This lattice crawler has a crane extension on top called a jib. It has the two jib masts right there. And no derrick. So it has the mast of the crane, main mast of the crane right there. And then you have your boom. And then the main mast is connected to where the boom meets the jib. And then between the two jibs, you have another set of pulleys right there. And that other set of pulleys is designed for controlling the main jib out front. So the crane can do this, right? It can go back and forth with the mast, and then the jibs can move the crane up and down. That's an extension. Judging by how long the main boom pieces are, it looks like this isn't designed for necessarily this crane. Well, it's not designed. It's crane configuration. The configuration of that crane is not designed to move anything particularly heavy, but it's designed to move lighter components up in the air. That 11350 there, any word whose that is? I don't know, Gully. I'd have to look. This one right here is another lattice crawler crane. That's a smaller one. You can tell it's a smaller crane because the lattice isn't as thick. But that one has the mast, the main mast of the crane directly tied to the boom. So this is designed for just moving medium lift stuff around. Same with this one over here. And then this one over here, you can see its mast behind my head. The mast is connected directly to the boom, and it has a little jib extension right there. It's using one of these as a crane extender. These things are like Legos. You can reconfigure them. This looks like it's using the derrick for the main boom right there. But yeah, these guys are all moving smaller stuff over different distances. This one is the heaviest lift right here, but they're doing all kinds of stuff out there. What is that? Those are big. You can tell because it's smaller. You can tell it's smaller because of the way it is. If it's Buckner, then that's the one that did Blue Origin. Cool. I did, Buck. I watched Vice Grip last night, and I lost a lot of sleep over it. Look at how thick that freaking I-beam is. That Firebird's cool, man. Real cool. That yellow one with the jib is the LR1300SX. Cool. All right, Rocket Guy, you were talking about the mass simulator here. or the dynamic test stand. Let me see, RB. Nice 68 Camaro. Nice. Nice nature walk in the wild there, RB. The LR 11350 at the launch site is from Fagioli, who also supplies some of the SPMTs. Cool. Now see this thing? That's Bluezilla. We call it Big Chungus. Chungus is a real heavy lift crane. Look at how thick the lattice is on that thing. She thick. She real thick. This crane has the boom, the derrick, and the mast installed. That's when you really need to move big stuff. The derrick and the mast with the boom will give you more leverage. Also, this has the pendant hookup for a wagon if you need extra counterweight. Yeah, no, that's the crane that they use to move the starships around. That's a heavy duty guy. It can carry more counterweights on the wagon 619, and that's a lot of mass right there. Goalie, how much mass is each one of how much weight is each one of those things? This is what a crane can do. Is this the crane lifting a crane lifting a crane lifting a crane? Oh no, 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 no. I don't like that. All right, RB. We tricked out your crane with a boom, a derrick, and a mast. 10 tons each, so each one of those is 22,000 pounds. That's crazy. And see, they use pulleys. There's just a lot of pulleys over and over and over again. That's cool. Simple tools, man. Ah, look at this thing. So, this Fagioli crane is a Liebherr 11350. No, Void, you thought the big Chungus ones were thick. Look at those ones. This is a frigging huge crane. And they're using a telescoping crane right there to lift the boom into. Actually, that's the derrick. They're lifting the derrick into place. The mast is retracted right now. So what they'll do is they'll use this crane, right? This crane will lift the it'll lift the derrick up and over until they can attach the hydraulic stabilizers to it. When they attach the stabilizers, they'll take the pulleys from the mast. You can see they're untangled right there. They'll take one of the pulleys from the mast and attach it to the top of the derrick. Or, depending on the crane configuration, they could attach it to the jibs, and the derricks could be on their own pulley. The base section of the crane, the house here, has only a couple of pulleys on it. It has like 3 or 4, and depending on the configuration you can use 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, these things are freaking cool, man. Take a look. So, this thing there's the derrick. That's what they're installing on it. See how you can add pulleys to it? It's all configurable. Like, look at how many different versions of this thing there is. So, there's the base thing of the crane. That's what they have right now. All right? The mast is always installed on the house of the crane. And you can configure it. See? See, that has the derrick and the wagon installed with the main boom and the jib. And you can make a bunch of different cranes. See, there's the wagon with the wheels. Yeah, it looks good, Geeson. And there's the hooks. You can carry a bunch of different hook blocks for different loads, and yes, you can attach those. There's the crawlers. The crawler pieces are all modular. You could take them apart. Well, you have to. There's the mast control right there, or mast information. And look, you can do a bunch of different configurations with this sucker. It's really friggin' cool. Oh, that's so legit, dude. This tiny little thing can reach 400 feet into the air, 100 meters up, no problem. Like, no problem. And it could take a car and pick it up and put it on top of a skyscraper. Oh, yep. There's your do not exceed. If you bend it over too far, the center of mass will go too far off the pin and the crane will not crane anymore. Here's your load tables right here. Yeah, Dragon. So, Dragon, do you own a car? That crane could take your car and put it on top of a 40-story building. I get it, and I understand the physics behind it, but that's still ridiculous. That's crazy. Like, all right. That crane can do like what, when you play with and you're a little kid playing with Matchbox cars. You take the car, oh, the car can fly up on top of the building. No, it can actually do that in real life. Do you even lift? Bro, do you even lift? Do you even lift? I'm sorry, I don't mean to swoon over it. That's some gnarly engineering. Even if it is just a bunch of simple tools, it's literally pulleys and levers. That's it. Look at that. Look at that. 144 meters up. Frick you, 144 meters up. Yeah, the 31,000. It's like a Jawa sandcrawler. And you know what the best part of this all is? Sebi, that's cool. You know what the best part about all this? This crane is being used to build spacecraft things. I like spacecraft things. More load tables. This is with different configurations. This is your max load, I think. I think that's what I'm looking at. Any goalie, can you help me? TFRs for ingenuity. Space TFRs. Jezero Crater. Certus Major, Mars. Temporary flight restriction. Altitude, surface to... Yes. I mean, look at some of the configs, man. That's ridiculous. Can we build a huge Lego crane on stream? This is for when the crane wants to show off. What the frick is that? What do we... Yeah, 200 meters, guys, is, what, 660 feet? Power boom, bro. What is a power boom? Whoa! Oh, man.
Raymond Borger, crane supervisor of Mammoet. Und u bent hier auf die Baustelle in Eemshaven. We hebben hier die 11-rij functie met powerboom, zoals u ziet.
Power
we gehen hier
boom.
een
Houston, Tranquility Base here.
House.
The Eagle has landed.
We copy on Roger Tranquility. We copy on the ground. There's a couple of guys down here turning blue. We're breathing again. Pete. Why? What does that say? Did you leave a message? Oh my god, man. Dig the stream and what you do to educate and build excitement in the space enthusiast community. Hey, my pleasure. That is why I was put on this earth. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Look at this freaking crane, though. Look at this crane! Thanks, Pete. Right on, man. Thank you very much. That looks like something you'd see in Star Wars. Does it not look like something you'd see in Star Wars? I'm halfway expecting the front window to open and something to pop out going, "Lieutenant!" What did I just miss? Pete made a very generous tip to the stream. Utidi! Utidi, filthy creatures! Why would sand people want to attack Jawas? These blast marks, too accurate to be sand people. Only Imperial stormtroopers are this precise. Plot twist. Obi-Wan killed the sand crawler so he could get Luke to trust him. Plot twist. He framed the sand people. And the Imperials. This crane helped build the bridge in my city 2 years ago. That's cool, Maddie. This is what the Jawas roll in. Yeah, the 31,000. Would you climb to the top of that crane? Hell no! No, I'm good, man. But the irony is Imperial stormtroopers are not precise shooters. Yeah, he framed them. Obi-Wan killed all those Jawas. Obi-Wan killed all those Jawas. You almost got away with it, you smelly butthole.
We hebben de eerste paar tijlen al
I don't know, God.
Und dan gaan we die zware hoek maken van 380 tonnen. Dat is die
Two word
house,
chocolate
die windmeulen.
What a nerf herder.
In eenmaal machen. Normalerweise dan moest je dat in tweeën machen.
Look at the turbine box. That's a gearbox to a wind turbine. That's crazy. It's a gearbox the size of your house. That's cool, man. That's what a wind turbine does, guys. You know, it's not just spin the blade. It spins the blade and it goes into a gigantic transmission. And that transmission has an alternator attached to the back. And that alternator generates, or the generator generates power. But there's a freaking huge reduction gear in there. That whole thing is the size of a freaking small house. It's huge. Ever see a wind turbine blow up? Yeah. If you don't lubricate the gearbox, you got a problem. Who's scruffy looking? There's one of the pulleys working. Oh. Wangerborg. Freaking awesome. All right, guys. Pause it real quick. That's a door. All right. That's a maintenance door. Just thought I'd let you know. Now, keep in mind that's not a full size maintenance door for like a person to crawl through, like that you could walk through, is about double the size. But that's nuts, dude. Ah! Holy crap, that's cool. Cranes are freaking cool, man. Cranes are awesome. That's so, I love them. I didn't realize I like cranes this much. That thing is so cool. When are you doing this in KSP? Well, yes. The biggest crane in the world is Mammoth. Yep. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, I know. That frigging thing. This thing has...
Centimeter voor centimeter wordt de kraan overeind gezet. Hij is 130 meter hoog en ze kunnen er nog eens 100 meter bovenop zetten. Het gevaarte werd bedacht op de tekentafel van het Bredase takelbedrijf ELI.
We hebben deze kraan met een klein team in Breda volledig geëngineerd. Alle berekeningen en tekeningen zelf gemaakt. En daarna hebben wij alle fabrikage uitbesteed van de delen en nu zijn we het hier in elkaar aan het zetten en het proeven.
What about bleachers? Cranes are my bleachers, Gallifing. Cranes are my bleachers. All right? Cranes are my bleachers. And Cleater is right. And I actually The funny thing is, Gallifing, that's one of my favorite Cletus McFarland videos. Not one where he goes like sevens in Leroy or sevens in Ruby or you know, like Toter Home. One of my favorite videos of his is when he's talking about the bleachers. He's like, "Yeah, I think I'm a bleacher guy." He's like, "This is just so freaking cool," because you could tell that Cletus learned how much engineering goes into that thing. Goes into just a freaking bleacher. It's just bleachers, right? You wouldn't think twice about it, right? But it's cool. That's see, Clear's a big nerd. He's a big freaking nerd. You notice, Gallifing, that he always wants to drive the construction equipment around? Nerd. Nerd. Nerd.
Dan gaan wij hier mee oppakken.
De proeflast. Ofwel, even checken hoe sterk hij is. De kraan kan mij natuurlijk straks makkelijk tillen. Samen met 80 zeecontainers vol met zand. 3,6 miljoen kilo gaan er hier straks de lucht in. Dat is net zoveel als 3600 auto's tegelijkertijd.
That
Dan
much?
is hij nog niet eens op zijn sterkst. Als je de kraan iets korter maakt,
Is
kan
Nicky.
hij het gewicht van wel 5000 auto's aan. En oh ja, dit is het contragewicht. Want het is wel de bedoeling dat het ding overeind blijft. De bediening is volledig geautomatiseerd en de proef kan eigenlijk niet mislukken.
Alles is tot in detail.
I think he just has the money, not the understanding still. You think so? I mean, Dave, you don't notice how he learns to drive every piece of construction equipment that RG brings to the construction site? He learns how to drive every single one of them. You never noticed that? Dude, I noticed that. Dude, I know the mark of a nerd. I know the mark of a nerd when I see one. It's just some people are good at hiding it better than some people are better than at hiding it. Dude, every single piece of equipment he's asked to drive and learn how to operate. The pavers, the graders, the steamrollers, all of it. Yeah, there's always a video of him driving the stupid thing. Just, dude, nerd recognized nerd. Like, I get it. I see it. I'm like, yep, yeah. Oh, I like you. You're cool.
We hebben alle berekeningen gedaan.
Who, Elon? No, Cletus McFarland.
We hebben alle tekeningen zelf gemaakt. Daarna
Dude,
zijn
he's a
de
nerd,
tekeningen en
man.
de
I'm telling you.
berekeningen ook nog ergens anders weggelegd. Die hebben alles nog een keer gecheckt. En nee, daar verwachten wij geen problemen mee.
I like Carl. Carl and I are friends, Sebby.
Of een minnetje verkeerd zetten.
Ja, daarom laat je het ook nog.
I have, oh no, actually, a long time ago. This is all I used to watch, guys. And now it kind of makes, now that I'm saying it, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. And from like 2000, I'd say like 2001 to like 2006, while I would be gaming, I would have Mega Movers or Modern Marvels on in the background on Discovery Channel. Because keep in mind, this is before video on demand. This is even before on-demand movies. That's all I would have on. Modern Marvels and like Discovery and History Channel. Is that, ooh, that explains a lot. Nice, Thomas. How It's Made, yeah. How It's Made came in kind of at the end of me doing that, Sneaky. But yeah, I watched like the first season of it. And then I went off to school and that changed. Yeah. Build It Bigger with Danny Forrester. Hell yeah. Build It Bigger was sick. I can't believe they let him into some of those places, dude. Like, I need to figure out how to do that as a streamer. How do we do that? Danny Forrester is a legend. That was a great Dirty Jobs. I love Dirty Jobs. Mike's cool, man. I know that some people don't like what, you know, Rule 8 stuff with him, but you know, I agree with him about trades and stuff. I'll be really honest with you. Junkyard Wars was good. Yeah. Big, Bigger, and Biggest. Oh man, nostalgia trip, Drool. Drool, that explains a lot. With you, with what we're doing in Minecraft, it explains a lot. Like, I never really got too much into BattleBots. I'll be honest with you. Robot Wars, that was all cool, but I liked like Modern Marvels, talking about bridges and talking about cranes and skyscrapers and all this other stuff. It's Scrap Heap Challenge, yeah. You gotta bodge something together. I watched a little bit of Mythbusters, and I do like Mythbusters. Don't get me wrong. It's a great show. It's a great show for getting people involved in STEM, because I love how everything on that show just devolved into them blowing it up. That's what I try to do with the stream. I try to capture early 2000s Discovery Channel. Like, even if we go on a little bit of a dive in how ridiculous cranes are and stuff. Like, look at the chunk on that freaking that brace right there. It's ridiculous. Like, how do you go and make, like, how do you make that? Yeah, I have that, Thomas. Yep. New job, Geeson? Yeah, I'll pass on that. I don't need that. When in doubt, C4. Dude, look at this thing. I agree, Marmot. That's pretty cool. That's part of the reason why I wanted to jump in on a project like this. So we could do some heavy, big engineering in Minecraft. And we have a Mackers now, too. D-Pick finished the Mackers. Wasn't Mammoth the company that lifted Kurz from the bottom of the sea? I think so. Did you finish the HLS paper? I've read most of it, but dude, how can you carry negative weight on Dynetics Lander? Just how? The design wasn't ready, Forge. Simple as that. The design wasn't ready. They couldn't build it fast enough. Negative mass at this juncture in time is not necessarily bad. Just different companies move at different paces. That's all. Hey, Snakes, what's up, man? No parking lot for the Maccas? Yeah, we got a parking lot for the Maccas. Secret Me's working on his building here. I extended this road last night, but I have to extend the lines a little bit. Maccas is kind of sus. So NASA's going to launch Starship on SLS, right? No, S. It's funny how what I kind of had hoped for is kind of inadvertently what happened. No, Lunar Starship will launch on Super Heavy, unmanned, and then it needs 10 refueling flights in low Earth orbit. And those 10 refueling flights will get it to the moon. To the surface of the moon from low Earth orbit. And then back to rectilinear halo. From there, I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. You'd have to refuel it out at the moon, which is a little weird, but alright. Yeah, it needs 10, Daves. Yeah, I'm not too into it, the 10 refueling thing. Is it bad that I kind of want to see Starship on SLS? Well, S, I agree with you. I agree with you in that regard. I want to see Lunar Starship on top of SLS. That would be actually really useful. You know why? Because provided that it could structural is the thing. It can't hold it up, and it just can't. You can't hold it up. It's too heavy. But provided that if you could do that, you could get a fully fueled Starship into Leo in one shot. Super Heavy Lift has its pluses over like fuel depots and stuff. It has its pluses. I mean, preferably it's not binary. You wouldn't want like. If we do on-orbit refueling, I don't want medium-duty rockets with on-orbit refueling. I want super heavy lift with on-orbit refueling. Couldn't you expend a super heavy to do that, though? No, not with a Starship on top of it, Banana Time. Not even close. Yeah, see? David did this. Look. It would be pretty damn cool. That would be SLS just doesn't have the beef for it. You don't even need the EUS. Get the EUS off of there. Get the EUS off of there and bolt Starship right to the forward skirt. You don't need the interstage. A couple of SRBs. You would need to redesign the core stage, guys. You got to remember the core stage is built around being hung on the SRBs. You can't do that way. The crazy thing is, I think that you almost have the TWR here with 4 shuttles and 2 5-segs. You almost have the TWR. It's close, but Starship is just too heavy, and then structurally the core stage can't hold it up. You have aluminum holding up stainless steel. It's just not going to happen, guys. Now maybe an unfueled Starship? Maybe. I wouldn't write that one off. If you wanted to launch an unfueled Starship with the payload already installed, and then you use the lunar landing engines on Starship for circularization, right? and then you launch a bunch of tanker starships and refuel it, maybe. 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 Anyway, let's get back to the rest of the NSF video. Mammoth ring crane lifting 1,600-ton refinery element. I know about the ring cranes floating. Yeah, that ring crane is crazy, dude. I want to see a ring crane like that on Mars someday. Just because. It would work, why wouldn't it? Yeah, K-Mirror, you're pushing the mass fraction is you're pushing it. Hey guys. Bird. So it's 12 launches for the first lunar landing, maybe a few less. Well, guys, the amount of refueling missions really depends on what Starship is carrying. That's the important part. That's what really matters, what Starship is carrying. If Starship doesn't have any payload, it won't take 10 flights. That 10 flights is taking into account 100 tons of payload to the lunar surface. 100 tons of payload. It's most likely not going to be that. With all the life support and everything, and all the amenities, I guess, for 4 astronauts, and all the fuel... Well, not all the fuel. Everything there, and then maybe some surface equipment stuff. Maybe like 5. But still, 5 is a tall order. SpaceX really needs to nail this quick refurbishment stuff. If they don't, we're going to have a bad day. I agree, Forge. Yeah, I agree. Leave the first unmanned test starship down there, and then use it as a locator beacon for the manned landing. So you have 2 starships there. Yeah, Rocket Guy, I think that's the thing. I think they over-engineered it on purpose. I mean, that's kind of SpaceX's MO. It's not about carrying a bigger payload. It's about carrying the same size payload further, right? That's why it has a 100-ton rating. See last puss. I agree, Kinder. That's actually what I think is a good idea. Have SLS just relay payloads to lunar starships so you don't need as many fueling flights. What do you think about lunar plus cargo starship hybrid to deploy permanent HAB modules lowered from a crane on the nose? Complicated, Mason, but doable. Why not just land lunar starship down on the surface? Just land it there and leave it there as a base. Vent the tanks, wet workshop, boom, instant skyscraper. They will need to demonstrate ascent as well. Yeah. Ferd, flatbed. Raptors, Dodge. Wet workshop conversion is not easy. It would take a lot. I mean, Rocket Guy, that's... Oh, they put a big berm in there. That's the reason why I said in the first place, just leave it. Just leave a lunar starship there. Just leave it. Vent the tanks and just leave it there. And do Apollo 12 Surveyor with it. Actually, Rocket Guy, that's the reason why I wanted the national team involved. But, I mean, I understand. You know, he's packing the surface down with the excavator right there. Well, NASA said they were going to have 2 starships, Rocket Guy, and then one will be reused. So, use one to test descent. Descent works. Use another one to test descent, land it right by it. Then send the first one back up into space, test the ascent, and then reuse the one that you launched back into space, leave one down there. Kathy Leader said they wanted 2 starships for initial demonstration tests. I mean, once again, Rocky. I'm snowballing with what we got. For what it's worth, I agree with you that Starship without a smaller just people lander is it's flexible, but it's not as flexible as it could be with the national team. But once again, that feeds into me not being very satisfied with the results because of underfunding. But I mean, if I had it my way, it would be national team and SpaceX all the way. That's the most mission flexibility. That gets you the most rockets moving the most payload out to the most diverse amount of rockets moving payloads out to the moon. Correct, Kinder. Yep. When working on the bridge berm in the Minecraft server, I went down a rabbit hole about those reinforced walls. Pretty cool, huh? Yep. They could, Phil. Well, they're doing Dear Moon, so a Starship's going to be out there anyway. Yeah, Forge, I gotcha. Ferd. What planet will SpaceX go to after Mars? Liam, I don't think that's on their radar right now. I think it's make the capability to go to Mars, and then once you have that capability, you can pretty much go anywhere. Did you watch The Spacewalker? Negative. What's The Spacewalker, Snickers? Are you talking about like an EVA or something? You'd like a dual-axis lunar lander Starship? What is Dear Moon? Dear Moon is a SpaceX mission to do a circumlunar orbit with a Starship. That's correct, Sevi. Oh, Snickers. Yeah, I know. Someone told me about it, dude. I haven't watched it. Pneumatics? Huh. It's some type of load or dynamic test stand cooking. They're testing something with the nose cones. I don't know what. I can't figure it out. It's some type of dynamic test stand. So it's to test changing conditions. Oh, they put more tiles on. So you can see right there where they added more tiles. Interesting. A structural test for lunar landing engines? Maybe. Dear Moon was downgraded to Falcon Heavy and Crew Dragon carrying 8 crew. What? Why are they adding tiles? To test how the tiles react to aerodynamics. What are you talking about, Sebi? What are you talking about? Can you I source me on that one? You're saying Dear Moon was downgraded to Falcon Heavy and Crew Dragon carrying 8 crew. There's no way that's a thing. Falcon Heavy isn't even human rated. What do you mean? I don't think that's right unless you give me a source right from SpaceX. Never mind. Okay. I was gonna say, I don't think that's correct. Alright, we got one more here. One more video. This is last one here, and then we'll jump in. Praise the Lord's chicken. Is that forklift stuck? Yep, that forklift is stuck. He got stuck in the rocks. They're using another forklift to look, they're using a big forklift to help the baby forklift. Aww. Forklifts helping forklifts, guys. Those are ties for a big crane. That's not a forklift, it's a telehandler. So are you. Nature is so beautiful. The joke doesn't work as well, Forlorn, if I call it a telehandler, alright? Stop ruining my jokes. Now get out from behind there. You're ruining the paint. You're ruining my joke. No? Alright. I will stop writing things tonight. My brain isn't working correctly. Don't worry about it. You made a mistake. Mistakes are alright. That's why I was like, Sev, you good? Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's in the past. It was 5 minutes. Don't get flustered. Don't be like, oh my god, everybody hates me. Don't do that. We don't. It's fine. It's not a pride thing. It's about getting the information right. Snap out of it. Look. Snap out of it. Snap out of it, or I'll change the subject. That was like the 5th mistake tonight. I make mistakes some days too. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Don't think about it. Just don't worry about it. Real fake doors. I try to make at least 4 mistakes before I get out of bed every day. Forward, no aft. Red, no blue. Ah! I feel like a command is needed for 1 hop, but I guess it would be hard to implement. I don't. Next week. when you used to make water towers and now you make rockets. That face when. How active is Boca Chica at night? I'm pretty sure they're running round the clock, Livid. Boca Chica Town exists. SpaceX. It's for real estate. It's for real estate. 3 8-hour shifts, guys, is what they run. I guess that 7.2 experiment didn't work, huh? Space waits for no man. Did you hear Thomas say during the event yesterday that Samantha Cristoforetti will fly on Crew 4. No, I didn't, but that's cool. Do we know of the people we see here working? How many are SpaceX employees and how many are contract workers? I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, Ronkin, have you already discussed the lunar lander announcement? Yeah. Yeah. What did you want to know? You have any questions? It was a very quick thing. Yep. SN-16 lifted into the mid-bay with a telescoping crane. Telescoping is something different. I don't think that's a thing at all, actually. Never mind. Oh, look at that furred. Look at that furred butt over there. That's nice. Just walking along. Thick furred. Excuse me, when furred? Heard? He said something along the lines of Matthias on Crew 3 and Samantha on the one after. Nice. Is there a planned date yet for something going to space launch from Boca Chica? SpaceX is targeting July, Duber. That's a big old steel lattice or something. I don't know what the heck that is. Duber, that date is a little bit unlikely, so take it with a grain of salt. What the heck are we looking at here? What kind of Xbox do we have? Xbox One. Bestagons. I wonder what this thing is about. For the tower, unless it's some sub-assembly near the top of the tower, Mason, I don't think so. It's not thick enough. That's not thick enough to hold up a 400-foot structure above it. Even, I mean, that could be chromoly steel. It's still not strong enough. And once again, if you're wondering why it's rusting, they let steel do this. Believe it or not, if you let steel rust over like this, and if you let it oxidize on the outside, it actually forms a protective layer. If it covers it completely in oxidization, it's not going to rust anymore because oxidizer doesn't oxidize. Or oxidization doesn't oxidize, I should say. Rust stops rust. That's why they let it rust out like that. They do that on purpose. Called the barrier effect. You're a barrier effect. Yeah, but no, you're right. GSE 3. Oh, yeah, maybe, Mason. That only applies to certain types of steel, correct? That's right. So you should let your truck rust. Got it. Surface rust. Rust is not rot, Rim, but yes. No, but actually yes. Now look at those struts. Those struts are pretty hefty. Rocket Kai, any idea? Any ideas on this one? It's got to be for aerodynamics. It has to be for aerodynamics. I just don't see anything. Aerodynamic load stand. Adds weights to the nose cone and flap attachment locations. That's what I'm thinking with those struts that are going off the side, right? Giant shake plate to test vibrations, possibly. Diesel engine in the background there. Hello. I feel dirty. I feel dirty. Eee, that's nice. Wham! See these braided steel, the braided steel wires? That's what I want. I want to make the truck, the interior of the truck look like that with all the braided steel. I think that would look sick. I wonder how many of those parts are from McMaster. It's funny you should mention that. It's funny you should mention that, Bram. I went on McMaster car the other day, and then one of my buddies that works at SpaceX that they don't want to give their name. One of my buddies that works at SpaceX was like, I literally go on that site daily for work. I'm like, oh yeah? They're like, yep. I'm like, well, there you go. Source, dude, trust me. No, yeah, somebody, one of the folks in chat was like, yeah, I go on that site all the time. Dan, one of the other Raptors on the cover for the methane line says, new Raptor, who dis? Paul, what I want to do, what I would really want to do, because I'm getting ready to finalize the wire harness on the truck, what I want to do is get mil-spec connectors. It's mil-spec connectors and like rad shielded sheathing for the lines. Not because I need that, but because I can. And make the truck EMP proof. If I rad shield, rad shield. You could there's like interference shielding that you can get for wires. I kind of want to do it, and then have the interference wires go into mil-spec connectors, and like it's so overkill, but it would look so cool, right? Like it would be amazing. I know, Dan. It is pretty awesome. Nerd. Oh yeah. I'm a Nord. Nord. I'm not Norded. Not Nord. No. Nerd and quite possibly a dork. Yeah, big dork. Yep. Look at all these furs. Oh God, it smells awesome. I was gonna say dork and nerd and combine the two, and it just Nord, but that means something else. So. Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. Look at that truck. Look at that other truck. I'll take the one on the left. I'll take the one on the left. She's perfect. That's a nice truck. Tesla related, but awesome. That sign is almost as big as the barrel section. Yeah. Tesla with autopilot engaged now, approaching 10 times lower chance of accident than average vehicle. Nice. Some enemy nukes near Boston. Now this is a job for me and my truck. Dird. Tesla. Tesla guy's like, nah, I don't need to be here. Bye. Tesla be like, alright, I'm gonna head out. Yeah, so shiny, it's junk. Is that a header tank? Is this a header tank in front? I'd assume because of chat delay you're talking about the last shot. There was a header tank there, yeah. Now there's a good truck, finally. You with your Ram. Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge Ram. Citroen, Renault, Peugeot, Fiat. I don't care about the trucks. Look at that Darkwing flatbed. Nice. That's a concrete pouring truck. The one that says brown wood on it. Doozin'. Chevy. 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 Toyota. Oh. Oh. There's my bird. 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 All right. I think that gets the point across pretty well. Right, Endo? Yeah, we start seeing SpaceX moving cows to the launch site. We know what's going on. Let me see, Mason. All right, we'll check out RGV's picture in a moment. Welcome to Rocket Park. Spared no expense. You got a starship? Spared no expense. Look at they move the starships in pack and they flap their wings to avoid a predator. They're more like birds. Clever girl. Kappa. 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 Cow methane harvesting work? They don't produce enough, Jackery. It's better to just make it yourself. Kappa, 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 Kappa. The reason they increase the RPMs on the cement mixer is to pour the cement. Yeah, Grab Shark, it did. Sometimes it do be like that. Forklift man coming to save the day. Forklift man. Hey, he waved. Penske truck coming to save the day. Mr. Penske truck. Ford man coming to save everybody's lives. Ford man at the gate. Guy walking across the parking lot. Guy with red hat. Parking lot, coming to make space to park your cars. Parking lot. Hey. Super duties are better, Dan. Raptors are okay at towing, dude, but honestly, the Super Duty could rip a Raptor in half. If we're gonna talk trucks, bro. It would be funny though, just because of the name. Yep, see, this guy's talking. He's talking to the crane operator right there. See it? He's got the walkie-talkie. A message. What number did you call? 2, 4, 9er, 5, 6, 7. Hey, Casper, just letting you know that you are subject to prosecution for wearing that shirt being an American Ford fan. Well, Casper, if Ford was in F1, I'd be wearing a Ford shirt, but Ford isn't in F1, so I have to like the next best thing, which is Ferrari. No, I'm not going to like Mercedes. It's Ford versus Ferrari, not Ford versus Mercedes. That's gross. Imagine liking Mercedes, LOL. Those look like parts to make one of the jigs. The stands to hold the Starship sections up. Like, see the thing that's holding 7.2 up? F1, NASCAR. I mean, Fords win that all the time, Dan. McLaren's where it's at, though. Yo, how about Checo pulling it out, though, like a freaking Chad? I'm proud of Sergio. That's pretty awesome. Ah. That 3500 HD Chevy, though. I'll take that. I'd drive that. With the gooseneck? Yeah, I'm in. Lando almost had it, Saitam. Strimmer almost made it. I wonder how many OSHA violations are unknowingly broken each day at that site. Dude, you could piss in a latrine and it's technically an OSHA violation, killer. I don't... Yeah, as long as nobody gets hurt, let's just be smart. Work smarter, not harder. Especially when you're doing labor like this, dude, you know. Thoughts on how big an 18-wheeler spot should be? 25. No, 20 blocks. Screw it, 20 blocks. What do you think the strategy will be tomorrow since Checo is on softs and Max is on mediums? You think Checo will put a lot of pressure on Lewis? What's Lewis on? I buy. That's cool. God, I actually like that. Lewis is on the mediums. So, I'm pretty sure that's the end of the video. Yeah, they're working on the orbital pad again. All right, little F1 talk while I'm loading up KSP. So, Lewis on the mediums. Checo's on softs in second place. Max, and then Leclerc, right? What's Charles on? Charles on softs. Here's the thing. If you push, yeah, I mean, yeah, Checo should take the fight to Lewis, absolutely. Only Max and Hamilton are medians in the top 10. Checo should take the fight to Lewis, but so let's think about this. If he takes the fight and if he takes the fight to him, he burns his tires. And Imola shreds tires. That track wrecks tires. It'll really screw tires up. There's a lot of high-speed corners. High-speed cornering is very abrasive for the tires. You know those softs are going to shred like after 10 laps, right? So you're going to want to take the fight to him. But even if you get out in front, Mercedes is just going to undercut. I mean, Lewis, on the other hand, has to make those mediums last. He has to make them last a little bit. More than 10 laps, that's for sure. So, I mean, if Checo takes the fight to him, I don't think Lewis is going to put up a fight because they'll have the undercut on Red Bull after that. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say. Max is going to do what Max is going to do. He's going to try to take Leclerc out of the equation. He's going to try to get in front of him. So it's him and Checo. If I were Max, I'd be gunning for third place. Checo is on a different strategy. You don't need to be just whatever. And if he takes the fight to Lewis, you have Checo tow Max up to Lewis, and then Max can undercut Mercedes if they did that right. But Ferrari's going to screw with them. There's no way Charles is going to let Max in front of him without him saying anything about it. And I know Ferrari. Ferrari's always push. Always do that. Ferrari's going to try to take us. I mean, Charles, let me see. So you have Lewis. Going into Tamburello, is first on the inside or the outside? So Lewis is on the left side of the track. Checo has the outside line, which means Max is to the left. Charles is on the outside line as well. thinking about how you go through Tamburello. Ooh. Max really has to get in front of Leclerc. He has to really make sure Leclerc doesn't pass him. Because if he does, then Leclerc's going to slow him down. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. Max needs to get out with Checo, and he needs to work off of Checo's push to Lewis. Take the fight to Lewis, make him defend, try to make him screw his tires up, which that doesn't really work. Lewis is great at defending positions. You know, you could say that he isn't, but he is. And I'm saying that not as a Hamilton fan. He's really good at it. He's really good at muscling people out. Like, really good. If Charles is on softs, I mean, Max is going to have to let him go. But there's no way that Max is going to want to maintain position. There's no way. He's going to try for third. He's going to try for third so he can get on Checo's slip and take the fight to Lewis. Because if Max can use Checo to catch up to Lewis, then Horner's going to undercut him. He's going to undercut Lewis and try to get the advantage. That's the strat. That's Horner 101. That's Christian Horner to a T. That's how we won the last race. There's a high possibility of rain tomorrow. No. Oh, if there's rain, I don't freaking know. I have no idea what to do. If there's rain in the forecast and it's high probability, push. Push as hard as you freaking can. What happened to Carlos Sainz? He's in 11th. Sainz is in 11th. Yeah, Nuclear, that's right. But Nuclear, if rain is on at Imola, push while the track is dry. Gain as much ground as you can. Max is good in the rain. Charles is... I'm not sure. If Charles doesn't take out Max... Well, Charles is on the outside, Saitam, so if he's on the outside line going into Tamburello... Like, okay, here, I'll show you. Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. Alright, so check this out. So, they're down here. They got a long run into Variante Tamburello. So, this right here, you can dipsy-do somebody. If Leclerc goes way outside and he keeps Max on his inside, I would actually let Max get out in front of me on the inside line, and I would get him under braking. Leclerc brakes first, Max brakes second on the inside line. You let Max take the apex, but you carry more speed through the corner, and Max is going to jump out here. He's going to stay to the left to turn 2, and Leclerc might be able to get him on the second part of it. Well, turn 3, the second part of Tamburello. You could dipsy-do somebody through here. So, like, that's when you take the outside racing line, you let the guy get ahead of you, and because he's on the inside line, he has to slow down more, and you can carry more speed through the corner. So it looks like the cars kind of switch places. But if Max stays to the inside going through 3, Leclerc, though having more speed, Max, yeah, it's hard to dipsy-do somebody out of here. No passing in Villeneuve. I wouldn't try to pass somebody there. You could try to take somebody in Tosa if you go way outside and try to go way outside and get him on the late break. Because Tosa, you have to start slowing down right here. Tosa's difficult because that corner is helical. It starts like this and then it goes up a hill and turns around. And if the car is shifting weight and you try to step on the gas, your car spins. That's probably where Mazepin will go out if I had to guess. Yeah, I'll put some money down on that. That's probably where he'll buy it. Piratella, you can't really pass somebody. Mineral water, you can't pass somebody there. You could try to get somebody at Ravazza, but the track's too narrow. You're really going to have to do a lot of passing here, and then a lot of passing here. Piratella is a tough corner. That's a tough corner. Imola has a lot. I like this track. It doesn't look that complicated, but you have a lot of elevation change. Piratella, so Tosa, like I said, it's helical. It goes up and to the left, like a helix, right? It looks like a curlicue fry almost, like half of one, right? So you start flat, and you break into the corner, and then you get about a third of the way up the corner, it starts going up a hill. So it starts going up a hill, so because that hill, the weight is shifted out to the tires because you're going up a hill kind of like this, right? Centrifugal force is pushing you out. if you accelerate while the car is off balance, your differential is going to go berserk and you'll spin. It's deceptive. It's very deceptive. And then Piratella is flat. There's no banking to that corner. So when you go around that corner, it's really easy to get thrown out. It's really easy to get thrown out to the outside. Here, I'll load it up. It's really easy to get screwed up here. Like, I don't know if Google Earth is going to show it, but the hills. Look at the hill. See Tosa? Like I said, look at it. It's a helical corner. It's flat and then it goes up. If you try to step on the gas too early, look at all the skid marks. See what I'm talking about? You try to step on the gas, you're gonna go head first into this wall right here. You step on the gas here, it's deceptive because it looks like you're good to go, right? It looks like you're okay, right? This looks, from the driver's seat, it looks like you could step on the gas here, but the track's still uneven. And that's why there's that big heavy wall right there, because everybody finds that wall if you screw it up. Yeah. Oh, well, Roblox, I didn't mess up in Tosa last night. Where did I go off? I screwed up in Villeneuve right here. I caught the curb, and so in Villeneuve over here, it's also really, really easy to crash. So you see how there's here, I'll show you. Okay. This doesn't really show it very well. So look. You see that thing right there? That thing that looks like a lattice? If your tires catch that, you're screwed. Because it's less contact patch. So if your tires are here over, you're good. If your tires go up over here, your car is going to get unsettled and your suspension will start doing this. And look, you could see how many people catch the curb right here and go right off the track. And then down here, right? See, look at all the skid marks. See all the skid marks going off in every single direction except the direction you're supposed to go in? It's tough. It's challenging. And then here, the second part of Villeneuve is very, very difficult. Because, once again, see all the skid marks? That's from people not entering this corner right and catching the curb. Look at all the skid marks going in every direction but the direction you're supposed to go. Same thing here. You catch that lattice right there, that's it. Your car's going to wind up over there. And that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me in the Imola race. I caught it, and my car went over here, and then I beached it. See? Look. You can tell right here because of these skid marks. See that? The skid marks? People are losing traction over here. So when the tires come back off the rumble strip and they touch the track surface again, it's like when an airplane's tires touch down on a runway. You get that? And that little squeal of the tires will lose. You'll break the tires loose and go right off the track. Why is that lattice even there? It's a penalty. You don't want your car going off the track. Drive the track correctly. It's there to It's there to punish you if you don't drive it right. I like tracks like this. This is why I like Imola. The whole track's like a friggin' Mario Kart course, dude. The whole track, every single corner. If you don't drive the corner right, you're gonna go into the woods. Mineral water is the same way. This is Acqui Minerale. Look at the elevation change is nuts here. See that? Same thing here. If you hit this inner thing right there, or you hit that triangle right there, gravel trap, you're going off. Look, this corner is especially difficult. If you carry too much speed into this corner goes up the hill and it banks outward. It's off camber, okay? So that means, like, picture a NASCAR track in your mind, right? Look, the track banks that way. And it goes that way. So that's called an off-camber corner. If you don't drive this corner right, you're going into the bleachers. And then, if you catch it too inside, you're also going into the bleachers. You have to drive it just right. You don't hit it right. If you hit it right, your car will get shot up here, and you could get to the level part where you gain traction up the hill. If you don't drive it right, you're going out over here. If you go into the green or the white, that's not prepared surface. That's intentionally like concrete, the runoff. So you'll get different traction and your car will break loose. Yeah, these are different pictures. This is an old version of the track. This is from 2012. The track has been refurbished. Like if we zoom out, it says Imola right there. See that? And look, if you go too far outside and you meet a level part here, look, your car spins and it goes this way and you'll find that wall over there. I'm telling you, guys, this track is like difficulty level 1000. It is really tough. And then in Variante Alta, which is tall corner at the very top of the track, this is the highest point. You have a huge elevation difference here. That's the ocean. Yeah, this is a great track, dude. At Variante Alta, if you hit the corners, once again, see those stripe parts right there? You hit those, that's it. Your car will go into the wall. Or you'll spin. These things are designed they're designed to bounce the suspension. Not too much, but they'll offset the weight of the car. And if they offset the weight of the car, all the wings and everything on the Formula 1 car get thrown out of whack. Think of like a plane flying upside down. They're really not designed to do that. If you start upsetting the wing, it's not going to do its job, and you will lose grip real easily. Another thing with this is that if you go out here and you catch the green, watch the skid marks. See where all the skid marks are? You catch this green, that's it. The green has speed bumps in it. That's what all those white and yellow things are. You catch the green there, you'll find yourself in this porta potty over here. Yeah, Imola is a disgustingly difficult track. And then you can see all the skid marks over here from where people took this corner to inside. You take it to inside, it'll offset your tires, and the car will just find itself. You'll find this wall before you even know what's going on. Show us the bump? Sure. Well, these are old pictures of the track. I'm not sure if the bumps are there. Yeah, they aren't. They aren't there right now, but yeah, these are really old pictures. Yeah, but look at, see, it's got those damn lattices on it again. See those things? It's a rumble strip. You catch that with the tires, you lose. That's it. And that's a really tall curb. That curb's about this tall. Like, we're talking 10 centimeters. So, like, 4 to 5 inches. You catch those with a tire, that's it. It's game over. And then, going back into the ocean. Yeah, no, this track will punish you if you're not careful. Like, you have to really stay focused. That's why I like it. Now, you come down here to Rivazza, right? This corner. So, the first corner is a helical turn, right? Like Tosa, but it's downhill. So, if you carry too much speed and you try to go around this corner, your car, because you have outward camber, all right? Once again, outward camber because it's going down a hill. It's the opposite of Tosa, see? There's little to no banking on this corner. So if you go down the hill, you lock up, you catch the grass, you go too far inside, right off the track. You'll go right into this person's front lawn. Well, you won't because there's barriers there, but the thing about Rivazza is that because you're going downhill and the track is turning, you're turning and you're going downhill up until this point. If you miss you have to brake early. You can't like brake right before you get to the corner and then turn. You have to start braking back here. Because if you try to brake while the car is going down the hill, it really doesn't like that. Your car will go straight. Like seriously, you'll try to turn, it'll just go straight. You have to start braking and you have to hit corner speed like right here. If you miss the braking point or catch the grass or catch the rumble strip, sand trap. And these Formula 1 cars will beach themselves. They'll get stuck in the sand. They're not off-road cars. And then simultaneously, once again, you go to inside. You can see the people that caught this. You can see where their line goes. It goes out there somewhere. See the dark spots in the track? That corner Rivazza 1 is very difficult. Rivazza 2 is not bad. This has a little bit of banking on it. But you can also see where people oversteered coming out of this corner. If you see, look at that. Look at that corner. It banks outward. We're talking off camber. The corner goes down and to the left, but the banking is outward. Dude, this is a tough track, man. And then Rivazza 2 is not too bad. It's a fast corner, though. But you have to set yourself up from Ravaza 1 for 2. If you don't do this corner right, you're probably not going to do this corner right. You have to be right in the right spot. The sweet spot is like right here. And then you really don't need to brake too much here. You just need to let off the gas a little bit and just a little tap on the brake. But once again, Ravaza 1 will set you up. If you do it right, Ravaza 1 will set you up for Ravaza 2. You can see all these other skid marks here from where people got screwed up in the first corner and didn't do the second corner right because they didn't have good entry. And once again, there's the lattice. You catch that, bye-bye. You catch that, you're going over there. See the skid marks? Excuse me, one F1 on the moon. And you can also see where people took it too far inside. You took it too far inside, you broke the car loose, and then the car oversteered. And then it went over there, or it went off into the trap, or it spun out. See all the skid marks? I'm telling you, man, this track's hardcore. Imola's very difficult. Yeah, your exit out of Ravaza 2 is super important because you have a super long straight. That's right, Sebi. The more speed you can carry out of Ravaza 2, the faster you'll go. Like, think about it. If you go through the corner going 50 miles an hour and then you peg the throttle, by the time you get to the end of the main straight and you get to Temborello again, 10 miles an hour or 16 kph cornering speed here equals like an extra 5 or 6 miles an hour down here down the road. You can get you can go faster out of here. You can go faster down the straight. You have a faster top speed. Corner exit on this is key. So driving this whole thing, I guarantee you people will screw up there. My guess the places they're going to screw up the most are Tosa and Ravaza. Those are the really difficult parts to drive on this track. They don't look that bad, but they're tough. Would you say this is the most difficult track then? It's not the most technical track. Monaco is probably the most technical track. That's a hard track to drive right. Monaco, if you make one mistake, that's it. You lose. One mistake, your car goes into a wall going 100 miles an hour. The thing about Imola is that it'll lure you into a false sense of security. Like, the track looks easy. And if you drive the corners right, it'll seem like it's not that difficult. But down the road, you'll get too comfortable with it, and then, you know, maybe you'll turn in a little bit too early, and boom, your race is over. That's it. Just gotta watch out for Mickey Rourke on the track at Monaco. Yeah. Anyway, there's your F1 news. So, if I were Checo, I'd push right to Lewis and take the fight to him, especially if you know it's going to rain. Anyway, let's check out this last thing here. So this is an RGV aerial picture, and it's a picture of the tower. I beg to differ. Nordschleife is the hardest track, period. I mean, we're talking about Formula 1 tracks in that context. So are you talking about the GP circuit, Sebi? GP circuit isn't that bad. The Nordschleife, the North Circuit, yeah, that's probably the most complicated racetrack ever, but Formula 1 doesn't race that. Yeah, there's the start of the tower. Guys, okay. I always say check the scale, check the scale, check the scale. Look at the people inside of this. Look at the people walking around in RGV's picture. Look at the truck or the bulldozer comparatively to the thickness of that concrete right there. That's not a joke. How thick that is. That is going, guys, this is, frankly, it's skyscraper thick. She thick. Hey, nice truck. Mugello Sector 2 is difficult. That's the reason why I like these the Italian tracks, Forge. Maybe with the exception of Monza. But Mugello, Imola, if you don't drive them right, nope. It's designed to push the car. But it's also designed to be a fun track to drive. Tilke tracks are the ones that just push the car. They're not very fun to drive. These tracks are fun. Look at the steel beam structure sitting on the ground next to the base. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're staging all the parts right there. And then there's the 11350 right there. That's a big freaking crane. Look at the size of the mast. The mast on that crane. Look at the mast comparatively to the truck. The mast on the crane is like 4 or 5 of these long. That's ridiculous. This is a big crane. Yeah, no, we won't, Dan. But rocket fuel, though. Also, what do we got over here? What are those? Are those rainbirds? They're red. So, water? Why is that tower on the corner from the launch platform? Not sure. My guess would be quick integration, Hellfish. If you look, there's a huge concrete pad right there. I'm going to guess that the radius of the crane goes from the staging pad to the actual pad. So the crane could rotate on a pivot and go from here to here. Hold downs? I don't know. That guy's welding something at that table right there. No, guys, red is usually water. Red would be fire suppressant. I'm not sure if red is fire suppressant on a launch pad, but this is... I don't know what these things are. I have no idea. What is this? It's a picture of Starship's pad? Man, that building is big. Yeah, see, that's a corner column. This thing is going right there, most likely. And we saw the truck deliver more of those the other day. Those are clearly launch clamps. I thought you were the KSP expert. This is Human Space Program, not KSP. Man, that thing could survive one hell of a blast right there. Those are some TEUs right there. These pieces look like the crossbars that are going to connect the 4 posts. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then these pieces are probably the diagonals, if I had to guess. It's like they built a mini castle. It really is, Doto. I mean... look at the people inside of there, man. That's unbelievable. Too short to be diagonals? You think so? Yeah, you're not wrong. Clearly these things will have something at 45 on either side, judging by those gussets right there, but I don't know. Yeah. Oh, shoot. We even got tiny people. I love it. They put work lights on the pad. What is that structure? This is Starship and Super Heavy's launch pad, and that's the service structure, fixed service structure. So here. That's that thing. See that thing right there? What is this? A launch pad for ants? Usago Mezawa-sama. That hexagonal structure right there is what's going to have this on top of it. Starship and Super Heavy. Which is going to be... It's going to be something else, man. Alright. That's going to do it. Have you ever played GeoGuessr Battle Royale? No. Alright. We got missions to fly in KSP. Let's do this. How the heck are they going to prevent the fully integrated stack from swaying all over the place? it's stainless steel, Buck. Probably has something to do with it. But, yeah, I don't have the answer to that. And, Buck, I'll be 100% real with you. I don't think SpaceX has the answer to that either. SpaceX, with the way they're testing, dude, it's really kind of cross that bridge when you get to it kind of stuff, you know? All right, let's complete the Lunar 4 mission. Mission mode, part 130. Staging the next lunar mission. GTA racing for after hours. All right, guys, we got to work in Kerbal. We got to get the Luna 4 crew back down, and then we have to, start staging the Luna 5 mission. Luna 5 is going to be a little bit different. The reason why 5 is going to be a little different is because we're going to go to a high inclination and try to repair a rover. There's a rover